Hello, everyone. I'm here for the first time doing live Facebook. So hopefully, hello, everyone. This could be a second start. I'm here live doing my first Facebook live chat with you all. So hopefully it'll work. Forgive me if it doesn't. So I just thought I would come on and share with you some of the thoughts I've got around how we're going to be managing this situation that we're all in. The difference with what we're experiencing now is that we really, really are all in this together. There are no prisoners and there are nobody that isn't affected. People do manage things differently, and you'll definitely see that. But I think the thing that I'm wanting for us to focus on is the fact that we are all in the same boat, and it would be great for us to think about what kind of things might be happening, and then for me to share with you some of the thoughts I've got around how to manage that very powerful piece of kit in your skull, your mind, because naturally we will be in fear. We will be scared, we will feel insecure, we'll feel panicky, and we're seeing that across the world. It is normal to feel these feelings. I really, really want to reiterate that today. I want to remind us all that the brain's main primary role is to protect. So we are in survival mode. We have got a threat. We've got a threat to our survival. We've got a threat for our loved ones. We've got a threat around whether we'll have enough of everything and what actually will happen to us and to our future. And the human brain is one of those things that does feel, if you like, feel those feelings very, very intensely and very immediately as well. And that's something else that I really want to make sure we can understand, that the first part of the mind that gets hold of anything is the emotional part of the brain, and that it's the survival part of the brain. So it's fight, flight or freeze. That's what we're in. So some people will be going around in that sort of fighting behaviors, fighting language, angry with everybody, very angry with the world, blaming everybody, feeling very, very aggressive. There'll be some who are flighting, who want to just run away. That could be run away and stay under your duvet. That could be just running away from all of the things that we're seeing and hearing. And then there is flight, which we mustn't forget about. Freeze. Freeze is where we just don't know what to do. So I'm pretty sure, and I'm going to own this myself, we've all been in all of those things about what's going on right now. I have felt angry and very frustrated. I've felt like I just want to hide and run away. And there's times where I just freeze and I don't know what to do. So those responses are normal. They are what we are meant to be doing. It's the way the brain is wired. We are meant to be protecting ourselves. But of course, the reality is that doesn't serve you. And what we can't let have happen is that we stay in that mode. We can't stay in that frustration, in that fear, in that frustration, in that high level of anxiety, high level of emotions. Because when we're in that part of the brain, there is no logic. So imagine that if your emotional part of the brain is switched on, that means your rational decision-making, innovation, your creativity, everything else is switched off. And that's probably why we're feeling like we are, why we're feeling in this sort of quite stuck, scared place where we don't really know what to do. We've got all these different fears going on. We've got fear of infection. We've got fear, will we get the infection? Will our loved ones get the infection? What will that be like? And we're listening to the news every day, or if you are listening to the news every day, we're hearing over and over again about this, how quick this infection is going. So your brain is going to be going into fear of infection. Am I going to get it? We've also got the lockdown. We've got the impact of the lockdown, the frustration of not being able to do what we normally do. We've had liberty, our free liberty for so long, and we've had all that taken away from us. There could be boredom. The brain, again, doesn't like being bored. It doesn't like to have nothing to focus on, so we can feel quite bored and quite unsure. We've got this obvious thing that's going on around this fear of running out, the panic buying that we've seen a lot of. You may have done it yourself. If I share with you, I tried not to. tried to just do normal shopping, and then you found yourself buying 2 of something, and you could just feel that fear, that anxiety going on there. Hi everyone. I'm just checking now. I thought I'd been talking for a little while, and I'm not sure whether that's true because my button's only just clicked on. So can someone let me know if I've been talking for some time, or has it just clicked on for you all? So hi if it has. Hello everyone. I can see a few people messaging me. Can somebody just let me know if this has just started working? Because I am new to live FaceTime. Have I been talking for a few minutes, or is it just come on now? Can somebody just let me know whether it's just come on now? So shall I start again? I don't know. I've been talking for about 5 minutes, but I think it might have just clicked on just now. I'm just looking now. It says it's been live for 11 minutes. It says been listening for a while. Okay, so I'll continue there as I am. So sorry, I am new to this way of talking to you all. So let's just recap. We've been talking about how the brain is going to respond to survival. We will be in survival mode because that's what it's meant to do. We have got these number of fears going around. We've got this fear of infection. Will we get it? Again, you can see that's going to be in direct conflict with our survival mode. We've got the frustration and the boredom of being at home and not being able to do our normal routines, not being able to see each other. The human brain is extremely connected with each other. As humans, we are social animals, and we are able to, we need to be able to see each other. It's the way we are with social animals. So that'll be really affecting our survival mode as well. As I was saying, we've got this fear of running out, this panic. We won't be able to see things. So I think, we'll be able to buy things. So I think it's really important that we remember that their brain will also. We've got something else that's going on. This what I've called this lack of information, or inadequate information, or mixed information conflict. I think it's really important to remember that the information that we're being given, the first part of the brain that will process this information is the emotional part. So the shock, the fight, flight, or freeze could quite easily click in if you're watching, especially if you're watching a lot of television, a lot of the news. We're going to be hearing it. We're going to be hearing it emotionally. And then also another fear that is out there is the finances. I'm self-employed. My business has virtually come to a standstill. So obviously people will be in a panic and in some sort of, again, emotional response to lack of finances, what's going to happen. Some people may or may not have lost their jobs, all sorts of different things going on here. And I think it's really, really important for us to remember that all of these things and all the other things that are kind of we're affected, that have affected us, the fear is going to be playing out quite a lot for all of us. And as I said at the beginning of this call, for those that didn't hear it, myself included, I have been bouncing around myself with feeling quite anxious for a while, and then feeling quite angry and quite frustrated, and then sort of trying to settle myself and trying to remind myself that my initial fear is normal, but it's what you're going to do with it that needs to keep. We need to pay our attention to. So I think it's important for us to be kinder to ourselves when we are noticing that we're feeling any of these high emotions, because they're normal. But what we are needing to pay attention to is to stay with it, not to stay in that place where we feel completely terrified, completely washed out all of the time. So I think one of the things that I want to share with you tonight is this first trial of one of these calls, and I'm planning to do many more. And if they're popular, I definitely want to do many more, because I really want to help people be able to manage this time and be able to come through the other side and think, okay, it was the biggest challenge I've probably gone through, but I managed to keep my head on. So the thing that I've decided to share with you tonight, which is I think one of the most powerful and yet the most basic things, that while we've just said that all of this fear and your emotional responses to everything are completely normal, we can't stop them, but what we can do is do something about them so that we can change them. The first thing to notice and the first thing to pay attention to is moving yourself out of your head and into the moment. And when I say into the moment, I don't mean into the moment of the news that you're reading, which is stressing you out, the cue of the chemist that's stressing you out. I mean into the moment, into your body, into that moment that your mind is living. Now, that could be an exercise where you actually go out and look outside and notice the sounds and the smells and the feel of outside. Again, I know it sounds super simple, but it is really powerful. So actually being able to take your mind with a job. So I'm going to go out and I'm going to look at other things outside. It could be that you're just sitting in a chair and you actually notice how you feel sitting in the chair, how your body feels, how your back feels supported, how your legs feel, how you feel in the chair, how comfortable you feel. You could be drinking a cup of coffee and you actually notice, properly notice, bring all of your attention onto what the coffee cup feels like in your hand, what it actually smells like. Take your time to drink this cup of coffee. And these are all exercises that allow you to be in the moment for that moment. And what that allows you to be able to do is, A, it gives your mind a job to do. And secondly, it allows that emotional response, which is the limbic system, to settle itself. It hasn't changed anything in the outside, but it's changed just you in that moment. You've brought yourself to that moment. You're not worrying about the future. You're not worrying about something that's going on that's out of your control, but you're bringing your attention to something that's in your control, which is usually something in your surroundings. And from there, you're able to then breathe and think. And by the time you're able to breathe and think and take your time, you will be able to think about something more logical about what you're going to do, something new, something more innovative, something creative, something you probably come up with a lot more solutions about what should I do in this moment, or what should I do with my day, or what should I do with myself. If we're staying in this high energy, panicky sort of feeling, we won't think of those good things to do. We will be in that flappy place. We won't be thinking very logically. So I just want to think about that, and I just want to pause and just see if anybody's got anything. I can see lots of people here. I've seen all the celebrities do this, so I can see Sheila and Holly and Angela. You're all here listening, which is fantastic, and I'm so grateful to you being there tonight. But I'm just wondering, what does that make sense to everybody? I'm quite used to having something I manage where it's more interactive, so it's interesting, this approach. But just that simple approach allows you to become part of the solution, really, part of your own solution rather than part of the problem. So it brings your attention right into the moment and allows you to become something that's much more useful for yourself in that time. Everybody does manage things differently, and that's why I always say that these sort of mindfulness exercises are really powerful. That the one that's right for you, one that I always feel works for me, is to feel my feet on the ground, to really notice that my feet are ground. That makes me feel quite rooted. So you've got to work out what one works for you. A lot of people I'm hearing and reading a lot of things on Facebook and things which are really positive about people noticing. There's so many more birds tweeting. They were always there, but we're sort of drawing ourselves to look at different things now rather than be in that moment of panic, because things are quieter. Life is a slower pace for all of us. It's a forced slower pace. But I think something that I'm really keen for myself and everyone else to really master is things that really work for you when we get to the other side of this and we can have our lives back, so to speak. And learning how to manage this emotional part of the brain, which can be triggered by anything, but obviously it's being triggered a lot by what we're doing. And also another thought I really want to think about is how much of the news are you watching, and how much are you then putting yourself into that fight, flight or freeze mode, because it's normal, it's natural, but I think it's something that we need to think about. I'm certainly very much limiting mine and trying to just get the basics of what I need to get to understand what's going on, and not really get too sucked into it, because it isn't doing my brain any good, my mind at all any good. It's making me feel quite worried and anxious. So I'm trying to move away, trying to look for other things to do. And I suppose the only other thing that I'm really interested in people thinking about and sharing with me is what what is your one thing that you're going to have achieved by the end, once we get through this? If you could look back, if you could turn yourself around and look back into the future, look back into the past, and you could see yourself on the other side of this situation we're all in, what is it that you would like to have achieved? Is it something that you've always wanted to do? Is it something you've never thought of? Is it something else? And I would really love everyone to be able to come out of this and say, okay, what do I want to have achieved now? What will it be? What will that one thing be? Some people are talking about speaking a language, learning an instrument, doing an activity, getting fit. You're seeing a lot more people out running than probably ordinarily do. So these are all really great things that we should be able to focus on. And again, when you're doing that activity, when you're thinking about how you're going to achieve this goal that you want to achieve, it's giving your mind another job. You're in that little bubble for yourself. And I think it's okay for us to be in our little bubbles sometimes as well. We mustn't feel guilty. We know that the NHS out there are doing fantastic work. We know there's a lot of people out there who are struggling, who have family members who are ill, and a lot of bereavements as well. But I think we have to individually look after ourselves so that we can look after everyone else. And I think take it from there. So I hope that has given some of you a little insight into what else you can do to help yourself. But I think my biggest message from my little chat tonight is to remember that the emotional responses that we have are normal. There's no point in fighting with those, but what we do want to do is think about how we're going to make a difference for yourself after you've realised that you've got yourself anxious, upset, angry, hurt, sad. I'm having moments where I feel really sad for us all, sad for the whole of us. But obviously, it's no point in me staying with that sadness. So I think it's something that we all need to do. We all need to join together. We are all in this together. And I think we all need to think about how we can support each other. And I'm definitely here and offering support. I can't do what I usually do in business. So I'm here saying, right, how can I help anybody and everybody? Well, not everybody probably, but how can I support and help people to get through this and not feel that they are alone? So if you do know anybody else who might benefit from this information, please share it. That's what I'm giving it out there for. It is a core part of what I do, is supporting people to help them, be able to work on how they can manage that powerful piece of kit out there. So I hope that has been of interest to you all. I can see some messages, and thank you so much for saying hello. Those of you that have, that's fantastic. I am going to sign off for now, but I am planning to do another one on Saturday, and then I think I'm going to try and do one short little chat every Thursday at this time, and let's see how that goes and see if people find that useful. There's lots of articles flying around at the moment that I've been writing for various publications. I'm actually got some articles going in the Wirral Globe, I think it is, or the Wirral News this weekend. So I am really pushing out there my message to try and help people see that, we are all in this together. It is normal, but there are lots and lots and lots of things that we can do to help ourselves. So I'm going to sign off for now. Thank you so much for those of you that have listened, and I hope somebody else picks it up once it's there as a recording. So thanks for your patience if I was a bit broken at the beginning, but look after yourselves, stay safe and stay positive. Bye for now. Bye-bye.